Here are your solutions to 3-6, the letter problems. So we're going to write an equation in point-slope form and slope-intercept form. So we're going to do two things. Don't forget we need to do both things here for the line that passes through this point and has this slope. So we start out immediately with y minus, our y value is 2, so it's y minus 2 equals our slope, they gave it to us, so it's negative 1/2 times the quantity x minus our x value. But our x value is negative, so it's x minus a negative would make this a plus, and it's 1. So right there's our first answer. Y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 times the quantity x plus 1. That is the point slope form. The next thing we need to do is change that to the slope-intercept form. So the first thing we want to do is distribute this and this. So we're going to have y minus 2 equals negative 1/2 x plus, plus a negative in this case, so don't forget that. Negative 1/2 times 1 is obviously negative 1/2, the identity property of multiplication. Now the next thing we want to do is add 2 to both sides. But on this side, instead of saying I'm adding 2, I'm going to give it a common denominator with this, and I'm going to add 4 over 2. Okay, getting a little crowded here, but I think we'll be able to see this. We end up with a 0 pair. So now we have more space here. Y equals negative 1/2 x, and now we have negative 1/2 and positive 4/2. Well, we could think of that as 4/2 minus 1/2 would equal positive 3/2. So here is our slope-intercept form, and here is our point-slope form. Or to look at it a different way here, right there are your answers on the left. Okay, in this case we are going to do several things. First thing we need to do is find out the slope of this line. So we're going to take negative 3 right there minus 0, and we're going to put that over 6 right here minus 3 right there. And we get negative 3 minus 0 would be negative 3, over 6 minus 3 is 3, so that slope equals negative 1 over 1 slope. So now we can put it in point slope form. We can take this point, we're going to put y minus our y value is 0 equals negative 1. You can put, I'm going to put it over 1 times the quantity x minus 3. There's our point slope form of the line, and now we need to turn that into the slope intercept form. So we are going to distribute this. We have y minus 0, so that's easy. It's y equals negative 1 times x, so we'll put negative 1x, or we could just put negative x, of course, and negative 1 times negative 3 is plus 3. So you're probably going to see that as y equals x plus 3. So here's our slope-intercept form, and here's our point-slope form of that line. Please keep in mind that you may have used a different point for letter C, so you might have a different point-slope form of that line, but you will still have the same slope-intercept form of the line. So the real problem that you want to correct in that case is the y equals negative x plus 3. Now let's do letter D. Same thing, we're going to take negative 10 minus 2 over 5 minus negative 1. So we have negative 12 over positive 6. That would be negative 2 for a slope. Then we're going to put it in the point slope form. We have y minus 2 equals negative 2, the slope, minus x, or times x minus a negative becomes a plus 1. So there's our point slope form. So keep in mind yours might be different. What you're really going to check is the next part of this. So now we're going to distribute. We have negative 2x minus 2 and y minus 2. We're going to add 2 to both sides. Add 2 to both sides. 0 pair here and here, which is kind of interesting. Missing an equal sign here. We have y equals negative 2x. So again, really check this one, and for letter C as well, it was really about the slope-intercept form, because there are two different points and you may have chosen a different set of points for this equation here. As long as this is correct, you did it properly. Okay, letter D, the cost for making spirit buttons is shown in the table. Write an equation in point-slope form to represent the cost of making cost y. So right here's our y of making x buttons. So the first thing we're going to do is find the change in y over change in x. Change in y from 25 to 35 is 10, and the change in x from 100 to 50 is 50. Let's write this 50. Okay, so we can cancel the zeros, and we have an m equals 1/5. So our equation is y minus our y value. We're going to use 25 equals 1/5, the slope, times x minus our x value of 100. And they wanted it in point slope form, so that is the form we have. Please press pause and do guided practice. However, please understand this is a very difficult problem to correct fully, because you may have a slightly different equation based on whether you used this set of points, which obviously I did, and as well as the book, but you may have used these points. So just take a look at that and you should be able to correct that yourself. Instead of a 100, you'll have 150, and instead of 25, you'll have 35 for that particular point, and the same slope. This would be the same, but this would be 150, this would be 35. Please press pause and do guided practice.